Today, we are going to be proving ourselves wrong for all of the lies and rumors that we kind of make up about ourselves. How many people here have like accused themselves of something they're not, right? Like, oh, I'm not smart enough. I'm not hot enough. I'm not this enough. I'm not that enough. And it's like, that's not true because we were made perfectly whole. And in our soul creating itself, along with Source and Source creating our soul, Source is perfect. So Source, it would be literally impossible for Source to make something imperfect. So the fact that you think you're imperfect in certain areas or certain spaces literally points to you accusing yourself of things that you're not. And this continues on the unconditional love train that we're on of connecting fully to unconditional love within ourselves. This is a big piece of that too. So, who hates being accused of things they aren't? Me. It's the worst. Who hates not being seen for who they feel they really are deep down? Me. Also the worst. This is all happening because you are falsely accusing yourself of things that you are not. I'm not feminine enough. I'm not hot enough. I'm not smart enough with finances. I am not intuitive enough. I am not good enough at my job. I am not good enough at whatever. What's the problem with that? Great question. I'm glad you asked. The problem is who remembers the law of reflections? Our favorite law, the law of reflections. What's the law of reflections? If you somehow don't know after I talk about it every day, how we are being towards ourselves, others will be toward us. That's with people. How we are, what we feel like we are doing to ourselves, or our judgment of how we're being toward ourselves, is going to also determine the circumstances, situations, and events we find ourselves in. So if we feel I'm not blank enough, fill in the blank, right? Let's use hot as an example. I'm not hot enough. I'm not attractive enough. I'm not magnetic enough. All different things, but just filling in the blank for you. Our creator field takes, this is really important. So make sure you remember this. Our creator field takes out the adjective of that statement and it just absorbs the subject. Okay? So our creator field takes out the adjective of that statement, I'm not hot enough, and it just absorbs the subject. Meaning the adjective is hot and the subject is I'm not enough. Okay? So if you have not enough programmed in your creator field, you and other people will feel like what you're selling online isn't good enough. Your business isn't good enough. Even if your thought is I'm not hot enough, you might think you have the best fucking business in the world. Doesn't matter. Your creator field is saying not enough. It takes out the adjective. So your disconnect of feeling, again, examples, you can insert anything with this, but your disconnect of feeling not hot enough or not blank enough, creator field takes out the adjective and it just absorbs and broadcasts the subject. The subject is not enough. So again, doesn't matter if you feel like your fucking lip gloss brand, your book, your course, your work to get a raise, your potential to be a COO at a company or whatever it is, doesn't matter if you feel like you're so fucking good at that. If you have in your creator field not enough with some other random fucking thing in some other area of life, that will creep and crawl through. Which is why, sorry, I still have like a reflection cough, annoying. Which is why when you go to launch a thing online, or you go to make a video and you're like, this video is so fucking good. And then it's like crickets online or whatever. And you're like, well, I'm so confused. Like, I think the video is really good. Like, I don't get it. It's because your creator field has not enough creeping and crawling through it for so many other things. So then what people read is this video isn't good enough, or this thing isn't good enough. And it's fucked how this works, right? But it works for us because it forces you to feel enough in all areas of life. And then you can walk around just floating like a butterfly, and it's a great time. So,
okay, wait, real quick before we keep going in this episode, for those of you who are overachievers, just so you know, we've got a ton of free content for you, like free webinars, free trainings, free mini courses, free quizzes, so much free stuff, but you'll never know about it unless you are on our email list. This is something that we don't share anywhere else unless you're on our email list. So what you're going to do is that go to our website, www.alexandraninfo.com. And even better yet, if you go opt in right now for our email list, you are going to get instant access in your email to a free masterclass from me. So the moment you opt in, you're already getting a free masterclass from me showing up in your email. Now, this is only for our overachievers and the people ready to take all the information that you're getting on the podcast and take it to the next level. For people who are wanting to go advanced, this is for you. So I will see you in the masterclasses. Okay, now let's get back to the podcast episode.
People will feel like you're not good enough for a relationship. Even if it's you don't feel good enough. Let's say you don't feel good enough with finances. Right? You're beating yourself up for how you've been with finances versus seeing the perfection in them. Now, if you're like, how do I see the perfection of the financial mistakes I've made? That's our next module of seeing the perfection in the actions you've taken, okay? So don't you worry, we're going to get there. Next module. So this is more, we got to get to this first before we get to that. So if you feel like you're not enough with, you decided to you made a bunch of money, you decided to go, invested in the stock market, and the stock you invested in tanked, okay? Example. You start going, oh my God, I'm so dumb for doing that. I should have thought that through. I blah, blah, blah. Versus you seeing it how it was perfect, okay? You being out of perfection with your decision financially or any area of life, it could then show up in relationship. People will then feel like in relationship, you're not good enough for them in the relationship. Or you're not doing something good enough in relationship, like a specific thing. Usually it will lead to like a specific thing. People socially, in the social area of life, will feel like you're not a good enough friend. I've been accused, not anymore, thank God. But years ago, like in my early 20s, of not being a good friend. And I was always so baffled because I knew I was such a good friend and I knew that I was showing up. And it was like two people who said this, but it like got me because it was like two of my very, very, very best friends at different points of my life. And I was just baffled because all I would do is walk on eggshells for them to make them feel better and like not celebrate myself because they would get jealous and all of these things. And I was always showing up for them, always all these things. And so it had nothing to do with what I was actually doing. It was I didn't feel good enough in my career, physically, in my finances, probably every other fucking area of life, knowing myself much at the time. And so anywhere someone could, I wasn't doing enough. So people will feel like your work isn't good enough. You're not good enough to get the raise. Your brand, someone else's brand is better. Your brand isn't good enough. Like this brand's better. This course is better. This podcast is better to listen to. Oh, that podcast just isn't like, it's not good enough. And the list goes on and on and on and on. I think we get it. So we've got to like nip this in the bud. was one of my biggest fucking reflections for forever. I was constantly, who's also with me on that? Who has a big reflections with this one? I was constantly falsely accusing myself of things I'm not feminine enough, not hot enough, not, those were probably more recently my top two. If I look at like 2 years ago, if I look at like 3, 4, 5 years ago, it was probably not good enough financially, not enough, not good enough at marketing or in business or whatever. So they can change, right? Like energy can't be created or destroyed. So it just changes form. So if you somehow fix the not enoughness financially from the outside, but you don't fix it from the inside, the not enoughness will pop up in another area of life. That's why it's so important we fix it from the inside. You might get, you wouldn't really be manifesting this financially if you felt this way, but you might get the higher self lesson of getting a lot of money, right? You might like get $10 million one year and your brand pops off, right? And then that can put a temporary band-aid on not feeling enough financially because now you have this outside thing, right? And then that not enough will pop up and all of a sudden you'll start to have body dysmorphia out of fucking nowhere. Or all of a sudden you'll start to have feeling not enough in your relationship out of nowhere. All of a sudden you'll start to have all these other things that not enough because you didn't heal it from the inside out. You put a band-aid on it from the outside in. So that's why we're going to get to the root. And then when we can just heal not enough, then it can domino effect into every area of life. So let's go to not feminine enough and not hot enough. And I can and I did think and feel and know I'm the best at what I do and there's no one like me in career. But the feeling not hot enough translated to not enough in my business at one point, like a few years ago, okay? And even though I was giving so much, like truly fucking overgiving in business through this brand, there was always some fucking email or some DM complaining that there wasn't enough free content, or people may have felt that they didn't want to buy a program of mine because it wasn't going to do enough for them. Even though I was so rooted to my programs, to this work, and to like my hard work that I've put in on myself to be a good intuitive and teacher of this stuff, it didn't matter because I felt not hot enough. I felt not feminine enough. And so the not enough translated into my creator field and other people felt that. So then also it translated into my relationship. In my relationship, I kept getting my now husband, but he was my boyfriend at the time, a long time ago, constantly like nitpicking and micromanaging me and how I like said things and how I did things and my judgment of that. And people have done that to me my whole life. Who's like just micromanaged how you've said everything? I remember like one time in high school, I was like dating this guy. You know when you date people in high school, you like don't really talk to them, or at least I didn't. It was like we were dating and then I wouldn't really talk to you. But so weird. But we like passed each other in the hallway and he was like, "Oh, hey, Allie." And I didn't realize it was him. And I looked, I was like, "Oh, hey." And I guess I said like, "Hey, weird" to him. And then he like told all his friends and he broke up with me because I said, "Hey, weird" to him. And so all of those things are literally mirrors and reflections of you not feeling enough. And so obviously in high school, God, who I probably felt in the negatives, not enough. And so I even little tiny things like saying hey to somebody weird, like broken up with, right? So it's why people nitpick and micromanage you. And so what was happening was Justin, my husband now, but at the time he was my boyfriend, and like how I was even saying things and how I did things. And my judgment of that was nothing I did was enough for him. And even though my self-image was high in knowing and being rooted to how incredible of a girlfriend I was at the time and how lucky he was to fucking have me, it doesn't matter because I still had not enough. I had the subject of not enough in my creator field. So it doesn't matter, our romantic relationship and all our highest values areas of life will reflect the holes in our creator field that we are missing and aren't paying attention to, but need to be filled to get us to the next steps of what we want in life. So our higher self loves us so much. So if we don't feel enough, they're just gonna be like, yeah, whatever. They're gonna make sure we know that we are enough by creating situations, people, and circumstances to act out that hole in our creator field extra fucking loud so it's in our face and we pay attention to that we don't feel enough. Our higher selves are like, bitch, you're fucking perfect. What the fuck? And so when we fall out of perfection with ourselves, out of love, remember the source definition of love, when we fall out of perfection with ourselves, we are going to get a very loud reflection in our face so that we can get back into perfection. It's called the law of soul balance. When we fall out of love, we're going to get a reflection that is going to be loud. It will pop up in the area of life you care about the most, for sure. The top 2 or 3 areas of life. And it will become very loud, and it will force you to pay attention to it. Now, most people don't know what reflections are, so they won't know what it's trying to say or mean. But you guys have the knowledge of what a reflection is, so you will know what it's saying, and you will be able to shift it way quicker than anyone else. When we shift it, we then fill in the hole in the creator field, which is new levels of source creation / manifestation to creating whatever our soul pull is pulling us to. Okay? So me not feeling hot enough was affecting my career and relationship. And funny how a physical self-image reflection pops up into career and into romantic relationship, which romantic relationship can be in the social area of life or the family area of life, remember? So I know it's like, what the heck, man? Why does it pop up in a different area of life? And remember, as we talked about, that's the way the law of reflections works. And I'm sorry I don't make the rules. I know that's annoying. But so not only am I accusing myself of not being enough, I'm now accusing myself of something that I'm not, because I am enough and you are enough, and we are made in the perfect image of source. So not only do you have I'm not enough in your creator field, you also now have a script saying, accuse me of things I'm not. You're literally begging people to accuse you of things you're not. Please accuse me of things I'm not. Like, that is what is going on in your creator field. And so that's what people will do. That's what situations, circumstances will do. Someone wins an award over you. That's a situation. And you know for a fact, like, you're way fucking better than them, or you did way more of a better job than them. That's a situation where on like a circumstantial level, you are getting accused of something you're not, essentially, right? The other person won over you. You probably should have won. You're not getting that recognition, right? So
Okay, wait, real quick before we keep going in this episode, for those of you who are overachievers, just so you know, we've got a ton of free content for you, like free webinars, free trainings, free mini courses, free quizzes, so much free stuff, but you'll never know about it unless you are on our email list. This is something that we don't share anywhere else unless you're on our email list. So what you're going to do is that go to our website, www.alexandraninfo.com. And even better yet, if you go opt in right now for our email list, you are going to get instant access in your email to a free masterclass from me. So the moment you opt in, you're already getting a free masterclass from me showing up in your email. Now, this is only for our overachievers and the people ready to take all the information that you're getting on the podcast and take it to the next level. For people who are wanting to go advanced, this is for you. So I will see you in the masterclasses. Okay, now let's get back to the podcast episode.
When a reflection pops up, let's say it's popping up in career, of like getting falsely accused of something, that's not the area you are falsely accusing yourself of something. Reflections, whatever area the reflection pops up, is not the area of life where you're doing it to yourself. Super, super important. Since being pregnant, I've gotten, all the reflections I've had since being pregnant. I talk about them on the story and on the podcast. Like the breakouts, what else even happened now? Oh, the sinus infection, the nausea I was experiencing, the digestion weird things. Those had nothing to do with my physical area of life or how I felt, but they were popping up physically, right? They had to do with how I felt about financial area of life or vocation area of life. So, Source created us as whole and perfect. So that means that we are more than enough. So now, because I'm not enough is not true, is not the source truth, now we are falsely accusing ourselves of something we are not. Well, then cue the accusation reflections. These, in my opinion, are the most helpful, but the ego's worst nightmare, like in the moment. So, there was a time where I had, again, like a best friend. I think it was like 22 or 23 at the time, just yelling, screaming in my face how awful of a friend I was. Because it's a very long story, but we used to live together and we had like tandem parking. And we both just got back from like Christmas, going to visit our families for Christmas. And I went to San Francisco with a friend. And I did not leave my key. My car was the one blocking her car, and I did not leave my keys for her to move my car. I did not leave my keys because she originally wasn't supposed to be back in LA until 2 days after I was back in LA from San Francisco. So I was like, oh, I'll be home for 2 days before she even gets back. Like, I don't need to leave my keys. Well, she ends up changing her flight, getting back a day early before I got back to LA from San Francisco, because I went there with another friend for New Year's. And I get home and I get my head chewed off of how awful I'm a friend for not leaving my key to move my car and how I never think about her and all these things. And I'm like, no, I actually did. Like, I realized you wouldn't be home for 2 days until, anyway, that's like how silly of a situation that is. I got my head chewed off for like 3 fucking hours. I'm not even exaggerating. And because of my creator field, not her fault. She was literally just being the level to me that I was being to myself in my creator field. The level of me just accusing myself of things that I'm not over and over and over again, of how I'm not enough in so many areas, in so many ways of my life. She was literally just a beautiful teacher and mirror in that second for me the 3 hours for me to show me how much I was just accusing myself of things that I'm not. Justin, my husband, used to do it to me all the time. Like, I finally nipped this in the butt for myself, like probably like around a year ago, like a year and a half ago, maybe, with him. But oh my God, the man used to accuse me of so many things that I'm not and don't do. And again, he was literally just mirroring myself because I was very in my not feminine enough era then at that time. And remember, it's not what we are saying to ourselves that other people say, because I never felt those things that they were saying about myself. It's how I'm being toward myself, other people will be toward me. Okay? Accusing myself of something I'm not will turn into other people accusing me of things that I am not. Our reaction is to blame them and call them a toxic friend or partner, right? They're toxic, get them out. Friends are toxic, family's toxic, partners are toxic, everyone's fucking toxic. The higher self, high frequency way of being, and that's actually going to get you what you want, is instead, I want us to start seeing this person as our greatest fucking teacher, because they are. So the time this happened, when this happened, I was getting called manic. I was accusing myself of things I'm not in the financial area of life, thinking I didn't know enough about the physical side of money, feeling like I was being irresponsible, even though it was at the time the most money I've ever made and saved, and the most money that's simultaneously going out for things. Like, it was the best I was doing at that time. Yet I was still super beating myself up about it. But I was making more than ever and saving more than ever. So you'd think I'd be celebrating myself at that point. But no, I wasn't, right? And for that time, I was making more than ever and saving more than ever. So instead of praising myself for all that I knew about money and how much I've shifted money, and used to be really hard for me, money was like a really big reflection for me. Instead of praising myself for all that I know about the energy frequency of money and how I shifted, my creator field to go from making $0 to I think it was $400,000 in that year at the time, and within literally a year time. Instead of just celebrating that, I was beating myself up because I didn't know enough about taxes, and I didn't know enough about, I forget what else, but taxes I remember was one of them, with the big ones. And instead of going, how cool is it that I get to hire someone to do these things for me, I was beating myself up that I wasn't good enough at finances because I didn't understand taxes. And it's so funny now because this was legit a serious thing and subconscious thing I was doing, when it's what the fuck, why would I need to know about taxes? Who gives a fuck? I need to know how to make the money. You hire someone to do your taxes for you. But at the time, I should have known how to do taxes. and so again, instead of praising and celebrating all that I'd done in my strength, and then just being oh, let me hire someone out for this, I was accusing myself of, again, things that I'm not. So here's the thing. I've been using my intuition intentionally for the past 11 years at this point, which is crazy to even say. And there's still things that I miss with my own accusations of myself, because our emotions are going to teach us where we are out of alignment on ourselves more than intuition ever could. Okay. So I didn't even realize I was subconsciously doing this. So I also wasn't intuitively looking in on how to shift it, because I didn't realize I was doing it until then the dreaded extreme accusation reflections, right, that I've experienced a lot of. Those are going to be very loud. Those are going to be in your face. It's going to be very obvious that you are accusing yourself of something that you're not. So you can probably find the pattern. Even if the person who used to accuse you of things isn't in your life anymore, now there's a new person who's noticed that. From my dad in childhood to friendships and relationships in adulthood, it has followed me. And those accusation reflections followed me because no matter what era I was in life, I was always accusing myself of something I wasn't. Okay. So, because you could be like, well, Allie, I doubt at 10 your dad was screaming at you, calling you names because you were beating yourself up financially about not having a CPA. No, I wasn't beating myself up financially when I was 10 about that, but I was beating myself up about not being cool enough and accusing myself of not being a good enough dancer. And so if you were not enough from when you were 7, the same feelings are going to come up now, just in different ways in different areas.